Good evening and welcome to Face for the Newsfirst team. I'm Niresh Aliyatambi. Now, we all know that the SMEs of our country, the small and medium enterprises, are the lifeblood of our nation. Millions of our people work in them, own them, and toil in them to earn a living and to better themselves, and that is what props up our nation's economy. That, of course, is without a doubt, and we have seen that this sector, SMEs, has vast potential for growth as well, and successive governments have looked to the SMEs to bring about some growth to our economy. And it is about SMEs and the need to support these SMEs that my guest this evening is here. I am pleased to welcome Dr. Janaki Kuruppu, Chairperson of the Mother Lanka Foundation. Good evening and welcome, Dr. Janaki.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Right. It's a pleasure to have you. And you have been with the Mother Lanka Foundation. You have been pushing and developing SMEs for quite a long time. I believe more than 15 years now. Would you like to tell us about your journey with SMEs and the Mother Lanka Foundation?
In fact, I am the founder of the Mother Sri Lanka movement. We go under the brand Mother Sri Lanka and started 18 years ago in 2008. And we initially, you remember at that time a war was on. So, but as soon I started this, we started this, the main aim is to make Sri Lankans feel proud to be Sri Lankan, be a responsible citizen and give back to your country and appreciate our things, like, local, whether it's manufactured products, food and beverage, our music, our entertainment, appreciate Sri Lankan things. So in a nutshell, that's what we are trying to do. So I started at that time to just make people believe in the country that the war will be someday over and that we will have a future for our children in this country. Fortunately for us, 1 year after we started, the war ended, and then we immediately focused on reconciliation, healing hearts and minds, and so on. Then after 2012, we started focusing on responsible citizenship. Responsible citizenship encompasses all of these things: unity, harmony, helping each other, helping entrepreneurs, changing the attitude of people. And also under that, this entrepreneurship development project was started. So how to be a responsible citizen, we do a project with school children. We work with about 2,500 schools where children do a project, and through that they learn, okay, this is what it means if I'm supposed to be a good citizen, a good responsible citizen. But we wanted to do something with adults. So in terms of developing, the pride of being a Sri Lankan, and also that's when we went to entrepreneurship building, and that was in around 2010 that we started in a small way, but this became a really big project from 2015 onwards. See, I believe that to get our country out of this current status in the economy, or make people come out of poverty, our poverty levels have now again gone up, is not to give handouts and subsidies and all that. Of course, there's a segment who will need that to come up to the next level, but to make people financially independent by doing their own thing. Teach a man to fish, rather than giving him the fish, that kind of thinking. So we help people to build their business, and we work with people who already have a passion to do something. We started going to people who are unemployed and at home and not doing anything, but that was too hard. To get somebody who is not doing anything, he come learn something and then now start doing a business, that was too hard for us. So we work with people who are already passionate and doing something, but to develop that business into a next level, into a sustainable level. So we have about 500 SMEs. So again, I also say it's MSMEs. There's micro as well. There are self-employed people, you know, very small level. Even it doesn't matter to work with us. We take anybody at any level. But once they become a certain level, they kind of graduate and then go on their own. But making them do something they love with passion, with dignity, and without begging or asking for anybody to you know, stand up on their own feet. So that is about this entrepreneurship development project. So we do various programs under this project. You know.
Now, you spoke about 2,500 schools that you're involved with. That would be nationwide, I presume.
Yes.
And is it through the Ministry of Education? How
Yes.
does that
From
work?
2008, the Ministry of Education has supported us to implement this program. It's held like a competition where children come up with they have to identify an issue they are facing in the community or in the school. It could be like, our toilets are not good enough. It could be something small where the children can handle it. They write a project proposal. They learn how to write a project proposal. Then they have to submit. We have a team. It's called Project RUN, RUN. R stands for responsible citizenship, U for unity, N for national pride. So if they qualify under those themes, they can implement the project and then show us before and after the change they have brought. You know, so this is a slowly putting into those children's minds that, you know, I also have a duty to give back to this country. We get so many things from our country, free education, free health, and so many other things, the beauty, the air, the water. That's also, you know, because of this country we have this you know, natural stuff. So they learn, okay, I must also protect, I must also give back to the country. So that's one project. But with adults, we do the entrepreneurship development. So people ask me, okay, you are working with children, aren't you giving free books and bags and all that? I'm not criticizing that. I said, no, I want to make the parents be able to buy the books and the bags for the children by helping their economic situation. So rather than, you know, waiting for it. So it's tough, but that's what we are doing. Yeah.
Now, you spoke of national pride and the instilling and the protection of national pride as well. And this is something that in Sri Lanka, our sense of national pride seems to be on a roller coaster. It waxes and wanes. It's got a lot to do with how the country is doing. So, for example, when the government went bankrupt, it really was a very hard blow to our national psyche, wasn't it? And then people tend to lose faith in the government and also in the country. And we see the migration out from Sri Lanka. What is your view about that, about people giving up and leaving rather than trying to, you know, do something for the country?
Yes, I mean, it's the developing pride. I mean, we always think that the grass is greener on the other side. I've lived for 8 years overseas. I mean, if you know, it's a tough life over there too. But we just have to have the right context and the right opportunities for the youth here and for the families here. And I always say, if somebody is debating, you know, should I migrate, should I stay here, is, you know, list out the pros and cons. You know, we believe your happiness, everybody's looking for happiness, satisfaction in life. It's in you. Okay, this is even coming from Buddhism. You go to another country also, if it's in you, you will still feel the same way, the happiness or the sadness. You can't let that depend on external things. So once you list out the pros and cons of living in this country and the pros and cons of living in another country, which they don't know before going, okay, and then you say, okay, what's more important to me? So there will be the material benefits, there will be certain systems and things like what people are saying, there's no system here, you know, things like that. So then you compare the pros and cons and say, okay, which is more important to me right now, or which is more important to my children. But I personally, didn't want to be a second class citizen in any other country, but what is this connection we have to our motherland? Mother Sri Lanka. Actually, some people think it's a mother's program. It's not. It's about the motherland. It's that we eat and drink and breathe the soil and the air and the water from this country, this land. I think that's what connects us. Some people will go to war for protect your country. You will put your life at risk. What is that love connection one feels for a motherland? In my analysis, I think it's that what's inside us. The soil, the water, everything we eat and drink. And if your parents are from here, then their genes, everything. So that must be the connection. So we want to instill, at least in our kids and all, that giving back to your country and being, in your motherland should give you another feeling, benefit that you might not get. But our country needs the cream of our people who are passing out of universities and all that. Otherwise, we will stay like this for a very long time if everybody starts leaving. So we must also do whatever we can to encourage people to come back. We have, in most of the governments, we have a ministry to encourage people to go. Then we are talking, why are they going? Why aren't, people stay in the brain drain, the reverse brain drain? So those are my views on that. But you do get that another satisfaction of helping your own people. That's what we are trying to do. I mean, otherwise, this is voluntary work. We're not getting paid for doing this. It's a non-profit organization. But we just get the joy of helping another person come up in life. So that's what keeps us going.
So, what type of industries are you talking about? Because when you say MSMEs, that covers everything, basically. It could be a woman who is at home, who is doing something part-time, or it could be a young man who starts up perhaps a bicycle shop or some kind of kade, or handicrafts, anything like that. But what areas are of particular interest to you?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't pick like that. So once we started the project, people started, coming to us. Okay, so now the end result is we have about 500 MSMEs. About 200 of them we are closely working. Others have, maybe interacted with us once or twice. So happens to be mainly in the F&B sector. A lot of people doing food and beverage related value-added products and so on. Lot of handicrafts people, because in Mother Sri Lanka also we have a range of souvenirs, Sri Lanka souvenirs, which will be attractive to any Sri Lankan or to tourists visiting the country or going overseas. So therefore we ended up with a lot of people in handicrafts, and then service sector, a little bit like beauty salons and that kind of. So we actually work with the lower end, not the big ones, because I think the big companies, the medium is quite large. Even though we call them medium, and they are also quite large, so they can manage on their own. What you need is that people at the very beginning, even some haven't registered a company, don't know how to do bookkeeping, so that hand holding. I was also the first chairperson of Regional Development Bank. I'm the one who merged the 6 banks. So they also say, oh my God, you go to a bank and where's your business plan? Bring this, bring that. They don't know how to do. So actually, if we don't help all this talk about entrepreneurship development, we will be in the same place, because if you must find out where are they stuck and take them to the next stage, actually walk with them. You have to hold hands and walk with them. Even to get that registration done, we may have to even fill the forms and help that way, so otherwise it won't happen. We have been talking about this. We have so many institutions for entrepreneurship development in the country, but why are we not doing better than this? I also believe becoming an entrepreneur is not something you can teach. I again personally believe it's something in your genes, because to become an entrepreneur, you have to be able to take risks. It's much easier to get a salaried job because guaranteed pay you get every month. Start doing your own business is not that. So if you can't take that risk, if you're risk averse, I don't think you will be able to take that challenge or the stress, of being on. So you will find out from among people who want to start something, who are really have potential to grow. So all these industry types are there. So even the other day I was at a place cutting my hair. You see that mainly males, no? Haven't you noticed that? Even in a female beauty salon, the people who are cutting the hair are males. So I was just thinking the other day, oh, this is another profession. Maybe more women can get into also. Why not? Women are trying to get into being airline pilots and all that. No, so even bus conductors, we are trying all kinds of fields for women. So here are some places, and I say the woman only is supposed to cook at home, still in traditional homes. But all the chefs are professional chefs are men, right? I mean, they're again, what's this twist? So anyway, so entrepreneurship in Sri Lanka also, being innovative is lacking. So if you're Rallatana, we have this problem of, okay, everybody starts the same thing, everybody starting beauty salons, and we have a lot of people doing organic, like value-added fruits, vegetables, that kind of thing, which are new trends. Ayurveda related, like our kottamalli, all things like that, which you have so many health benefits, do products to promote this, herbal skin care, personal care products. So what we do is identify gaps, opportunities in the market, and if we find an entrepreneur who is skilled at that particular area, we help develop products with them, and then we help them in branding, marketing, packaging, and mainly access to the market. So we actually do business with them.
Right. So now many people throughout Sri Lanka have some kind of talent. I mean, it's a rare person who doesn't have a talent. So number one, they need to figure out what that talent is, and then they have to develop it, and then they have to market that product or that service, and that's often the tricky part, isn't it?
I don't know, I'm the one who brought Nielsen market research firm to Sri Lanka. So my beginning in Sri Lanka, my career was in market research, my background in statistics and so on. So understanding your consumer is essential to have a successful business. So if you don't know what your consumer wants, what are the market trends, and who are my consumers even, who should I target for this product, that's I don't think it's going to be that successful. If you just do trial and error, you'll lose a lot of money and you may not be successful. So that's another area we help. Somebody knows to make, let's say, a particular type of bags, but that's now gone out of fashion and something else is new and consumer is looking for something. That feedback also we have to give them and get them to develop these new products. But our people also have to be willing to change. It's very difficult to get somebody to change from what they are making. This I personally experienced. No, you shouldn't use this handle, or you shouldn't use this color or this packaging. Very difficult. They will come up with 100 excuses why they can't change that. That's what I'm saying, that lot of hand holding. But our logo is Love Sri Lanka for our SME project, and the tagline is 100 smiles for your 100 rupees. That's again another personal experience I had. People who start their business, however small it is, are people who have dignity, pride, and passion in what they are doing, and they don't want to beg from anyone. But if you buy from them, you will see the 100 smiles. Even if you pay 100 rupees extra, 500 rupees extra, you will see that how that brings that 100 smiles into their faces. So that is what I want to tell the Sri Lankan consumer. Buy from small business. Don't bargain so much. Don't always compare that that is cheaper. No, this. You're helping that family directly. So if we can get more people to think like that, I think more entrepreneurs will come up.
Now, we live in an era where globally these large firms are dominating. For example, a large supermarket chain, whether it is in the UK or in Sri Lanka, they tend to dominate, to swallow up the business in neighborhood after neighborhood. Is this a challenge, or can it also be an opportunity for small businesses to grow with such large firms?
Yes, I also worked for a supermarket chain before. It is a challenge to some, it is an opportunity to some. It's how you look at it. Okay, so I have again seen people who started supplying to that supermarket and started with, like, say, one box or two boxes, grew into lorries of stuff they can now supply to the supermarket chain. Of course, they will have their terms and conditions and the margins and the strict everything is there. But once you're in, you're guaranteed that, here's you found that growth path in, if that is the product that the supermarket is willing to buy. But like for small retailers, there's a problem. I mean, again, I've done enough market research and so on. So the moment a supermarket opens, the retailers around that area gets affected, the general shops. So they will also have to find their niche. I mean, what is that you get in that small shop and not get in the supermarket? That personalized attention, they know you by name. Again, I go to the Janaki Kuruppu in RMPT just because to keep them happy. I mean, like they know everybody is now going to the supermarket, no, not coming to us. But you can find that some things that you don't get in a supermarket. Supermarket is kind of wholesale and, will cater a certain range of vegetables or certain range of fruits. But in the normal kade, you might find things that that a supermarket can't do because there's no volume demand for those things. So again, like, whether to live in here or live in another country, the supermarket has its own advantages, the quality, the price, the how they practice the storage and all that. That's a good part of it. And then the kade will have the other personalized attention, maybe deliver it to your home or things like that. But then have that chat with them and see how their family is doing. Those things will benefit. But if you're a manufacturer, you should use it to your advantage, to opportunity to grow with the supermarket business.
Dr. Janaki, now your foundation, together with the Kotte Green Network, Green Tourism Network, that is, you are having an event on the 27th of June, which is again something where you focus on SMEs.
Yes.
Would you like to tell us about this?
Okay. So in order to develop business for the SMEs that we are working with, we conduct various programs which give access to the market to these entrepreneurs. So we go to different places in right now, like in Western Province, kind of, we haven't still gone out of Colombo, into shopping malls, into marketplaces, and organize mini markets. That's why it's called the pop-up sale. Now the pop-up sale has become quite a popular thing. So we rent a venue and we organize markets for them to come, and we work very hard to get the customers around that area to come and shop from these small businesses. So it's there only for a day, that market is there, or maybe 2 days at the most. So for people to come and buy from small businesses, and then for the small businesses to get an idea of consumer feedback. Some of them have never gone to the market. They thought, okay, I have an excellent product. The moment you offer it to the consumer, then the consumer will say so many things, this is not okay, that's not okay, can you do? So it's like an initial piloting also for some of them to check their products and interact with the consumers, find out what they want, what's missing in my product. Also other established products, it is to get a sale. So we organize these things regularly. And my entrepreneurs, the vendors who have participated in this, have got export orders, have got supermarket openings, have got manufacturers asking them to supply to them, subcontract. So they actually get a lot of opportunities. It's like these trade exhibitions and fairs you have internationally, the big ones. These are smaller scale events like that. So it's one of those we are having on the 27th of June, and your channels, SFM and Legends, I thank them for coming on board to support us to promote this. So come, and even if you don't need to go shopping right now on that day, come And also it's not only shopping, there'll be lots of street food to enjoy. You can have your dinner, lunch, everything there, and those are also entrepreneurs. Those are street food vendors are also entrepreneurs. This is their small business that they are selling the food. Then there'll be entertainment, there'll be startup amateur musicians who want to sing, who want to perform, painting, so on. So it's like a day out for the family. It's going to be at Racecourse parking lot on the former McDonald's side. On the I think now it's another restaurant there on that side. So to come and enjoy yourself, at the same time help these small businesses by doing some shopping. So we are jointly doing this with Kotte Green Tourism Network, who is another non-profit.
Right. Tell us about that one.
It's another non-profit organization. How this happened was Mother Sri Lanka is based in Kotte. We have a showroom where we showcase these entrepreneurs' products. So we are based in Kotte. So I want to bring tourists to Kotte to come and shop with us. We actually tourists also like, because there's a social responsibility aspect in buying from a small business. So they also like to do that. So I was asking people, why aren't tourists coming to Kotte? So then we realized, something needs to be done to bring tourists to come to Kotte. So that's how we started this Kotte Green Tourism Network, along with another group of professionals who are doing, employed in many fields. We have all got together voluntarily and putting this together. So this event, so we do events to showcase what's there in Kotte, as well as events like this, which is in Colombo, because it's a Colombo crowd we want to bring there and understand the history. There's so much to learn. It's the capital of our country. It is a green city with all the so many parks, waterways, wetland, everything. It's a different experience which you won't expect in another capital city, because most capital cities are, concrete jungles, but this is not. So expand, the city tour can be expanded to Kotte also. Right now it's only Colombo, so that is how we got together. So joint similar interest, and we want to develop SMEs in the tourism sector and in any other sector, which is what Mother Sri Lanka was doing. And together we are doing all this work.
As you said, Kotte is quite unique as a capital city because it has so many wetlands and eco-tourist areas throughout, doesn't it?
Yes, that's the thing. And we have one Ramsar, I think, where the amount of wetland area in a city, in a capital city. So we have been recognized for that, and it's a planned city also, because it was started much later. So it's a different experience, and it's good to know. I mean, if you're living in Colombo, it's just how many minutes away, and go and see what's there. The bird park, Baddagana Wetland Park, all that, and then the theatre. There is the waterway, boat rides, places to eat and drink, and so on. So all in all, we want to help these entrepreneurs who are either in tourism or in the other industries I talk about. All in all, try to lower the poverty levels of this country, and by creating more entrepreneurs, because an entrepreneur will give jobs to others, so that automatically helps our economic development and unemployment and so on. So.
Now, Dr. Janaki, we as a nation are still struggling to attract enough investment. There are many factors for this, of course, but chief amongst them is that unlike 20 or 30 years ago, we now have a lot of competitor nations for foreign investment. Why come to Sri Lanka when you have India, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Malaysia, and so many other countries which, if you think back in the 1980s, those countries were not attracting or were not so attractive to investors. So in this regard, where competition for large foreign direct investment is difficult, do you believe that the MSME sector plays a greater role, more important to a nation?
Yes, so your first part of the question, the competition we are facing with attracting foreign direct investment. it's a catch-22 because I know Sri Lankan companies who are going and investing overseas in a big way. Proud to see, our Sri Lankan home companies now in all these countries and investing. So some, at, several occasions, I have asked some of these owners of these businesses, hey, how come you don't want to do that project in Sri Lanka and employ all these people and do a bigger project here, will you, in Sri Lanka? We are always asking the foreigners to come. Here's when our guys are going there. Both should happen. We're not a closed country, so, but what they said these other countries are giving us so many tax benefits, land and this and that, so they're also doing the same thing we are trying to do, because Sri Lanka won't give me, I'm a Sri Lankan entrepreneur, but Sri Lankan government is not giving me anything. They only want to give all the benefits to the foreign investor, so I'm not investing here, I'm going there. So Africa is giving me this, India is giving me that. So, and same thing, while that is happening, it's like the brain drain, people going, trying to promote people to go, at the same time trying to get people, trying to reverse the brain drain. So so that's happening. Every country is trying to get this foreign investor, but I still believe for foreign investors to come, they have to be sure of policies of government. We keep changing with government to government. I don't think we have still been able to, we haven't get that 20-year plan or 25-year plan like Malaysia, somewhere everybody gets together, all the major parties, and approve this plan, and you implement that, whichever governments come into power. It is a major part of it. Here we keep on changing every time, and every time you lose time. A new government come with a new plan. It takes about 2 years for them to settle down and start working, and then 2 more years you're ready for another election. So this is the problem, instability and the continuously changing policies. Foreign investors will not like that, they will not. And the ease of doing business, if you're saying, we're talking, BOI should become a one-stop shop, how many years we've been talking? So it's still that the going round and round and round is, you get sick of it if you're an investor and trying to come here. So we have to change all that to attract foreign investors. But what I'm saying is, think out of the box. Why can't our Sri Lankan companies, or they want to go there? So, but now I say little by little, local companies are also investing in big projects. I think the port city, that's happening. In Hambantota port, it's happening. So get the local companies also to invest. At one time, if you allow me, I was going to say, like even our roads and bus service and all that, waiting for the government to do. Can't a very successful private sector company in Sri Lanka, who has really now reached the pinnacle and they're doing very well, making billions and billions in profit, maybe invest in that public transport service, something, have a nice bus service. We are waiting for the government also to do everything, and governments are struggling with all the, arrears and baggage they are bringing in. So maybe it's time for them also to look at, but yes, and we wanted to be a Singapore, we wanted to be a Vietnam, we are losing the race every time, but we can be what we are meant to be. But time is running out, at least for our generation, right? I mean, are we going to see a developed Sri Lanka before we die? I don't know.
Now, you, in your Mother Sri Lanka Foundation, you have spoken a lot about Sri Lankan values. Now, that's a whole different aspect, isn't it? It's not just about business, but it is about the core values of being a Sri Lankan. Could you explain that to us a little bit more?
Yeah. I think every country has some authentic values in its people, something that is really authentic to those people. And I think what foreigners say about us, the friendliness, the hospitality, the always trying to help somehow. There are other bad people who are, trying to kill each other, but really, if you look at the majority, we have this nature of, Americans used to call this island mentality. You guys have this island mentality, so like survive for the day, navagilunat banchun, that kind of attitude where you just not take things too seriously. We don't take our job too seriously. We don't take, even driving on the road too seriously. So I tell, like, we have to capture the good values, the helping nature. You see some disaster happens, how people come, remember that landslides, how, I mean, doctors went down to rescue. The bus fell off a precipice and they went down on ropes to, help the, that is Sri Lankan spirit. It is, even some people scold these three-wheeler people all the time and they don't know how to drive. But you may have a problem on the road, your car gets stuck or something, they are the ones who come to help you. I mean, of course, again, there could be bad ones, but that's the spirit, that's the nature. Sri Lankan spirit really comes up in a time of disaster, and even accident, some people, they don't bother, but others will come to help in Western countries, a little bit I know. You may be dead in your house for a long time, nobody knows, your neighbors will not even bother to check whether you're dead or alive. So that's that independent life. We are not independent, we are just built to, I think, be in groups and this and that. So if we must build that outsiders appreciate that. We shouldn't become like the West and then lose all those values. We should, and parents, looking after parents and things like that, I think those are good things. And we must preserve something unique to us. What is the unique spirit of a Sri Lankan? And we can't change everything to, just because we want foreign investors and all. And no, they will appreciate this difference they see in these people. Otherwise, everywhere you go, it's the same kind of people.
Now, you said something interesting, that foreigners appreciate these values in us. And that's very true, because especially in the West, you don't get these values or a display of these values overtly. And when they come to Sri Lanka, they see it all around them. People smile, people chat, people are helpful. And like you said, especially when there is a problem or some disaster, you will find, if there's a wreck on the street or something, yeah, you will find 100 people there within 30 seconds, yeah, and they're all trying to help out. It's mayhem at its best, isn't it?
The generosity. Have you seen, like, how many disasters we have had? We had tsunami, then we had all these floods. Look at the way now we have a system in place already. Before the government even get their act together, people have started collecting rations, people have started distributing. Now it automatically, with all these media channels also doing this, it's automatically. And you saw, this time also for Ditwa, some people have donated like 1 kilo of rice. That means that's all they had to give, but still you want to give, and children came and donated their till, where they have collected some coins. So that generosity also is in us. Like, you may not have much, but still you want to give. And sometimes it's the very rich who have a lot, don't want to give so much. Look at our Vesak time dancers. This time I was told 15,000 dancers were registered. I don't know how many were unregistered. So it's also not the filthy rich who are doing this. It's the middle class and the normal people who still want to give. So I think those are wonderful, values of Sri Lankans. We should never, change that to be like the West or something.
Values which are embodied in many of our SMEs.
Yes, yes. And so, but businessman is a little bit, you have to be tough, and if you have money to collect from somebody, you can't do that, because that is also another point. You have to be tough as a business person. At least until you get to a point where maybe you can, do charity or something. But otherwise you won't develop, and you have to be tough with your staff, you have to look after them, but at the same time you have to get them to work. Our productivity is a problem. Those are the bad values of Sri Lankans, fudging at work, not doing your job of work properly, trying to, stay on the phone. What is this? I mean, everywhere now that's the problem. This social media, they're not working. They are in some corner looking at the phone. So we have to improve our productivity. This rate we want to grow now. We have said, no, developed country by 2048 or something. That is like 100th anniversary of the independence. even to go there, we have to grow so fast per year with this rate of, that's that island culture of not taking things too seriously is working against us there.
But you believe that by supporting the MSMEs that we can grow faster?
Yes, because I believe, okay, everybody has to try somewhere to come out of this. You can't wait for a government to solve all these problems and raise everybody up, So that financial independence, whether it is women's empowerment or that, equality for women, I firmly believe to bring equality to women, the first thing is financial independence. Without that financial independence, don't talk about equality for women. It's not going to happen in my belief. So you have to get these businesses even, and so then they have their family, they can look after their family, whether it's cultivation or anything. Then they financially they are, because even though money doesn't give you everything you want in life, money is a necessity. It's not sufficient, but money is a necessary condition to be satisfied.
Absolutely, and I'm afraid we are out of time, and it's been delightful speaking with Dr. Janaki Kuruppu, who is of course heavily involved in the Love Sri Lanka pop-up edition, jointly organized by Mother Sri Lanka and the Kotte Green Tourism Network. This is being held on Saturday, the 27th of June, from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. at the Racecourse Car Park in Colombo 7. Do drop by if you have the time. You will gain a lot and you will give a lot in support of the MSMEs. Thank you very much, Dr. Janaki, for joining us. And thank you to you at home for watching. And I'll see you next time. Have a good evening.